Welcome back, everyone. JAYBONE here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, it's been a few days, hasn't it? And as you can see here, we've got a different look. Folks, if you're listening audio, you're not going to get this. But for those watching the video play here, you'll get it instantly. You're used to a pretty plain background. Well, JAYBONE was busy this past weekend, and we did a little shifting around of things. It's going to look similar to an old look that I had a few years ago, where I had stuff behind me on the wall on the other side of the room. There's much more room inside the office. The lighting is still a work in progress. We've got the new light above me here. Um, the reason why I don't have my other light on is because from where it's positioned, it would have reflected off horribly one of the display cases behind me here, and you wouldn't have been able to see it at all. But as you can see behind me, I've got several figures in place now, some display stands. I've got the turnbuckles displayed nicely behind me. That was a work in progress getting those. So, brand new look, same old JAYBONE. So, how is everyone doing? Like I said, I know it's been a handful of days since I've been on. Spent some much needed time away and time with my son. This is the longest time that I've spent my son in well over a calendar year, and it was good for him mentally and emotionally. Same as myself, because I've been quarantined so much. If you guys have followed me over the course of the last, I've not been shy about how it's affected me and what it's done to me mentally. It hasn't been easy. It has not been easy. So starting this weekend is we're getting back into the same pace of seeing my boy every other weekend now. It's I know things are still scary out there, but I'm in the process of getting my shots. I know that his mother, who is an essential worker, is also doing the same thing. So that's great to see. Um, yeah, just spend some time hanging out. Watched him playing some games and stuff like that, and I enjoy watching him playing games because it reminds me of playing video games when I was younger. So we spent some much needed time together, hanging out, just goofing off, cracking jokes with each other. It was great, emotionally and mentally for both of us. So. Don't normally like taking that much time away from podcasting, but for this purpose, it was absolutely needed. And he also helped me um, move some stuff in and out of the office as well, because he's starting to sport some guns just like his papa. No, I got nothing to brag about here. My dad is doing good. Thank you, Zach. Yeah, he's doing good. He's getting his second shot the day after I am. So we're both going to be a little under the weather in a couple weeks. Critical Sting got his first shot today. Good for you, man. Look, this is not meant to incite arguments or ill feelings or anything, but I'm so happy. It makes me happy when I see people getting their shot and deciding just deciding to get it. It makes me happy because it's one more step that we are taking as a country, as a people, as a nation, to start to slowly turn things around, one person at a time. It just makes everybody a little stronger down the road. So great to see that. Much love tremendous. Bell's boy's been completely vaccinated. Good for you, man. Good for you. Hey, great. Fancy bone. No, I am far from fancy. I just try to look, like I said, I've said it over the course of the last 7 years. The show is always evolving and always changing. But like I said, same old bone. So hope everybody's digging it. I love not being stuck in a corner anymore. For a while, it fit what I wanted to do, but no, this is much better. Plus, I can change this all constantly, move stuff around, feature different figures. Like, I don't know if you can tell. I guess the reflection's kind of bad. I got the brand new, it's like an entrance thing with Randy Savage right here with an older Randy Savage above it. So yeah, we got the turnbuckles, we got some old featured cars, trucks, whatever up there, the Funko Pops, and some figures. When I get better lighting in here, you guys will be able to see stuff better. But so yeah. Just reading some of the chat here. Yeah, Paul Nelson, what is up? Family time is more important than some call. Well, yes, that is true. It is. Yes, I'm not going to dispute that. Oh yeah, Trent, what is up? New Bone Ground looks cool. Yeah, thank you. I'll take some time once I really get everything in place where I want it, and I'll do like a studio tour somewhere in the near future. You know, maybe I'll make that. Ooh, maybe I'll make that part of a new Patreon thing or something. Who knows? It's like I said, the show's always evolving. Trent, I'm sorry I missed your show tonight, but I will because I was too busy, watching my stuff last minute, literally. So, but I will catch up with yours because I know you had Daniel Spencer on. Please, folks, go check out Trent's other little show called Backstage Boys on YouTube and on Twitch. Yeah, Daniel Spencer, friend of the TNI show, ring referee for OVW and for Impact Wrestling. They had him on tonight. Great stuff. All right, so I do want to cover some news, and then we'll get into what is my first coverage of AEW, not Dynamite, but Dark Elevation. And I got some stuff to talk about with it, but we're going to talk some news. Oh, excuse me. We're going to talk some news first, and then with a few things that I've seen over the weekend that I wanted to talk about, but I took some time away because I was taking care of personal stuff, like I said. So let's cover some news, and we'll get into AEW Dark. Somebody hit my music. Jiminy Christmas. And now, time for JAYBONE's news. What is JAYBONE bringing today? Better be something good. Here we go.
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
That's my horrible imitation of what Trent tries to do for me when he's doing my intro. Oh, God. It needs a little fine tuning, All right, so some big things happened over the course of the last handful of days that I wanted to talk about, but didn't have a chance to touch on. So I'm going to touch on a handful of different things, and then we'll talk some AEW Dark Elevation episode number 3. So, Bell's point. Question of the night: where will the newly released Andrade end up? Well, I think he did tweet out that he said something about wanting to go back to Mexico. So don't be surprised if we see him down there sooner rather than later. Thought I heard some rumor about him having COVID or something recently. So maybe he's going to take a little time off, maybe make sure he's healthy, and then he'll start hitting the pay window somewhere else. But I don't want to touch on that too much because I talked about that recently. But yeah, we are all obviously keeping an eye out for him. This place, that place. Who knows? Who knows? Obviously, some places would be a better fit, I think, than others, but we'll see. So, all right. What's on the docket first? Something that hit Impact Wrestling fans, unfortunately, today. We got some major players out on injury. Now, this was brought up this past Tuesday on TNI. We talked about Chris Bay being out of action, and when it was reported on during Impact Wrestling, the Intel, Iceman Intel, we had a bit of we were wondering if it was legit or not. Is it story based? Was it a rumor that was just being put out there for the sake of storyline involving someone else in the X division? No, it's legit. He is going to be out for a while. I did not see the injury, or actually don't remember it. I think they did bring it up, but I'm not sure. But along with that came out the news earlier today that Eric Young is injured and he's going to be out for several months. Tore let me bring up the article here, courtesy of ringsidenews.com. At the last tapings, I tore my ACL. It's the first time I've ever been injured. I missed my first wrestling show this Friday. I missed my first wrestling show this Friday that I was booked for in 24 years of doing it. So it's frustrating, man. I've never been injured. I've been hurt lots, but I've never been injured. I have to have surgery in like a week and a half, and it's going to be a long road. So we'll see. It's going to get real interesting for me. So yeah, he tore his ACL. That's no fun. Obviously, he's going to be out for several months, and he's an older wrestler. He's 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 not going to spring back right as quick as maybe others. He's been around for almost 20 years now. Shoot, I mean, we were just talking about this over on TNI on the throwback on Thursday. He had his debut on the episode, what was the number we just talked about? 62, I think. That was in 2003. And I know he was, that wasn't like I don't think it was his first year. He was around a few years before that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he's been doing this for, 20 years, give or take a little, whatever. And, man, to have a first like big time surgery / injury now, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. The guy's really taking care of himself. He's been banged up. A lot of people have been banged up, but very few can claim that they've never been injured before. So Critical Sting here says, I was astounded when he said he wrestled 2 more matches after the injury. That's crazy. That's just, man, who does? There's not too many people that do that. Seriously, let's be real. There's not too many people that do that. So yeah, we wish him well. Maybe we'll see where it happened on TV soon. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, so get well. I mean, we always say get well soon. Um, it's unfortunately not going to be very soon for an injury like this. Out, 6 months to a year, depending on how quickly the process goes. But um, Eric's always taking care of himself, so I'm sure, even though it's going to be a long process, hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later, of course. So, oh yeah, and then there's a question of what happens to Violent by Design. I don't see him being around much recovering from this. I don't, it's for certain things you could be around, you could be at tapings, you could do certain things, you can maybe cut a promo. I honestly don't see him being around much for this. Hey, and if I'm wrong, then I'll eat my hat. No, I'm not eating this beautiful hat that I just got from shopimpact.com. An autograph that went with it from Willie Mack. Love me some Willie Mack. It's beautiful. And that's also going to be displayed somewhere back here soon. Like I said, this is all a work in progress. But for now, it is what it is. We even got the boned up cup in the corner back here. That's a prideful piece of my collection. No, not really, but anybody watching the throwbacks on TNI will get that joke real quick. The boned up cup. So, hey, we haven't got Bill in here. That's right. Late night boning. That's right. Getting back into the swing of things. Absolutely. So yeah, get well, Eric Young. Horrible injury, tore the ACL. My goodness, that's a nasty one. On to other health related things. News came out the last couple days that Road Dogg, aka BG James of the throwbacks that we talk about so much. Of course, he's better known as Road Dogg, but gotta mention that too. Had what is sounded like, now I didn't hear anything like official, but people are saying that he had a heart attack and he was he was hospitalized. We know that much. His wife's been putting out some posts. Now apparently he's going to have a heart what I believe they call a heart catheterization. It's where they go inside an artery with a camera and they clear out stuff, or my dad had something similar to that some years ago, where they go inside with a camera and they check stuff out and they try to clear some plaque away from arteries and stuff like that. Or, blow it up with a balloon or whatever. So yeah, Road Dogg is supposed to have, he was supposed to have a procedure today, but an update from his wife that I saw on Facebook said he's having it tomorrow. So we'll keep a close eye on the news, and we pray that Road Dogg's health, continues to get better and that he gets stronger, and that obviously when stuff like this happens, docs tell you the same thing. You got to take a little better care of yourself. You got to eat better. So yeah, hopefully Road Dogg listens to the doctors and takes care of himself and gets on the right track. Zach Bonifer says, after my heart attack, they put a stent in me. Yeah, that's very common. That's very common, yes. They did that to my dad, too. They did that somewhere. I don't know where they did it. They did it somewhere. Yeah, so hopefully all stayed well after that, Zach. I know it's not everybody talks about their health stuff. Thank you for bringing that up. So, all right. So, hopefully all good news from here on out from Road Dogg. Sure, he's going to be spending some time at home, taking it easy for a while. Let's see. A couple more things here, and then we'll jump into AEW. The Rock. Now, I don't normally talk about this kind of stuff, but this with the hype of all the DC stuff happening lately, I'm very excited for this because number one, I love The Rock. I don't know if I'd call him one of my favorites, but um, I guess you could say he's one of my favorites. He is pretty awesome. You know, everything he's doing. He owns the XFL now. He's like the highest paid actor in Hollywood right now. And he's always doing a million different things between projects and owning stuff. And what did he just do? Oh, he just released a new energy drink. I'm actually going to go check that out. It's called Zoa or something like that, XOA or ZOA, something like that. I've seen him advertise it on his socials. So yeah, I might do a little taste test soon. Check that out. Sooner rather than later, because I'm hearing a lot of positive stuff about it. But you know, if The Rock's affiliated with something, it's not going to be anything garbage, you know. So yeah, he announced that Black Adam is going to be coming out summer of 2022. So a little over a year out, we're going to be seeing the movie Black Adam. And in the preview that came out about it, we got a nice little picture of what that character Black Adam is about and some of the other characters that are going to be in the movie. Now, I won't go into all that. You can go look at the teaser trailer that he came out with and go check that out for yourself. So I'm not quite the DC nerd that some other people are, because I've been very much into the whole Marvel universe and everything lately, but with the heightened exposure of the DC universe with the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Oh my God. So I watched that for a second time with my son over the course of this last weekend. We sat down for 4 hours nonstop. I think we took like one short break, you know, bathroom break, paused it, went back and watched the rest of it. Blew through it. And that was, he loved it. So Tracy did not make it through the second sitting. She took a nice 4-hour nap. But by the way, I gotta say something about Tracy. Tracy surprised me with an early birthday present. What you see behind me with the cases and the turnbuckles, the cases are an early birthday present. And my wife also helped me with the cleanup of my office and the organization, if you will. She's very well organized, because you should see her office with all of her crafting stuff that she's doing to start her business. It's very, very organized. And well, let's just say my office was not very well organized. It was borderline nerds hoarder paradise with all the crap I had in here. Horribly unorganized. And my wife went through, and I mean, I did like the little stuff, putting stuff here and there, but as far as moving a lot of the stuff around, because it was just kind of stacked over there, and she dug into it early this morning and helped go through stuff. And like, I'm not going to show you the whole office, but she really helped clean this up. So props to Mrs. JAYBONE. She really did help. I love my wife. It's great to have a loving, supporting wife that she gets me. Just plain and simple, she gets me, and she supports what I do. So have the chat give some love to Mrs. JAYBONE out there, because I'll tell her about this later, because I told her I was going to put her over in tonight's show. So yeah, gotta give her some love. So yeah, very excited though about The Rock's announcement of Black Adam. We've heard little things over the course of the last calendar year, but we haven't heard much because of the pandemic. Now it seems like things are really starting to roll now. Hakeem, I've got a little opinion about that. I'll get into that in a bit about the lovely Logan Paul. Last piece of news here that I wanted to talk about. Now, this gets me excited for watching Ring of Honor again. And I do want to start watching this again on a regular basis, as I may stray a little more away from WWE again, and we'll get into that in a bit. But it certainly opens my interest into watching other things like NWA, Ring of Honor. So what I found out, and I'm really excited about this new stable that showed up. Now I didn't catch the name of this, but it's a new stable that just showed up in Ring of Honor at the 19th anniversary, I believe. They debuted a new group run by Brody King. Now that dude is a beast of a guy. I don't know a lot about him, but he does stand out in this roster, and I believe he did recently re-sign again. So Tony Deppen is joining him. He's a new face that's come into the whole, the restart, reboot. I don't know what you want to call it, of Ring of Honor. Tony Deppen is joining him. He impressed me in the Pure tournament. I haven't watched a lot since the Pure tournament, but Tony Deppen did impress me. That was the first time I seen him. He's been around for a bit in the Indies. So Chris Dickinson, I've talked about him a lot, especially back when I was watching Evolve more. He was part of the tag team with Jaka. He was even part of the AAA Impact Wrestling show that happened in the Madison Square Garden. Not the Madison Square Garden. He was in the Hulu Theater portion, I believe it's called, of Madison Square Garden. I might be not might not remember the name of that theater correctly. I'm not sure if that's it. I forget. But anyways, also part of this group that debuted for Ring of Honor is Homicide. Yes, folks, the returning Homicide. So we're not seeing him in Impact Wrestling. No. He is joining an old bunch of folks that he used to run with. Oh, and what do you know? Oreo just broke into my office. Apparently, she's very excited about Homicide as well. Well, come say hello. Well, there she is in the background. There she is in the background. Yeah. Well, hello. She is also very excited about the new office and how it looks. And we'll probably get a couple other visitors in here as well. Well, hello. Oh, boy. You coming to join me for the, here, sit up here. You can sit up here? What are you doing? Behave yourself. All right. So, and that makes me want to watch Ring of Honor, seeing some fresh faces that I've wanted to see for a while that I hadn't seen in a while. Homicide and Chris Dickinson, the fact that they're going to be featured in Ring of Honor in this group, kind of a hodgepodge group of people. Excuse me. But hey, whatever. I'm down with it. I'll check it out. Or as Tony would say,
I'll tune in. I'll check it out.
Yeah, exactly what I just said. There's an echo in here. Thank you.
Hey, Impact Wrestling. It's great to be here tonight.
Yeah, all right, settle down. You've outstayed your welcome, Tony. Thank you. Just go take a nap or take a muscle relaxer or something. The guy is always way too hyper. My goodness. Oh, he's one of the hardest working guys in wrestling. I gotta give props to Tony. All right, so that's it for the news. Let's talk about what? Yeah, she doesn't like Logan Paul either. She doesn't. I suppose Logan Paul does have an ego. He's got like a 3 trillion views or something on YouTube or whatever. Who knows? Um, Uh-oh. Things getting a little shaky on YouTube here. Says my connection was not good. Hopefully it just stabilized out a little. I just got a warning about it. All right. Looks like it's fine now. All right, so let's jump into some AEW. We're already half an hour into this. It's late. I gotta get up early. So we're gonna kind of buzz through this a little bit. You good up there? Oreo. Apparently not. Now she's gonna move. Oh, we're gonna try up there for a bit. Oh, big yawn. All right. Well, hopefully she behaves herself up there. Pardon my allergies. Like I moved a lot of stuff this weekend. Kicked up a lot of dust, if you will. So yeah, JAYBONE's asthma and allergies have been kind of going cuckoo. So please pardon the sniffles. All right. What are we covering here first? All right. So AEW Dark Elevation. I'm so used to saying AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays. This is a little different. Obviously, it's in the Dark family. And the reason why I'm covering this is there were some bigger names on this show, and I was very excited to finally get the chance to check out and see how Tony and Tony Schiavone, if you will, Tony Schiavone and Paul Wight work together. You need to settle down. I'm trying to talk about some stuff here. Just take it easy. All right. Give me a second. I want to kick her out of here because she's getting a little rambunctious. Come here, Goofy. Come here. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. All right. All right. Oreo says goodnight. She's not happy. I don't know how she got in here, but she did. All right. So, AEW Dark Elevation. This is episode number 3. I missed the first 2. I do want to go back and watch them just to see, how they are and everything. So, yes, Oreo has left the building. Let's have a round of applause for Oreo. Wonder Kitty, my goodness. Yes, it is all about her. Absolutely. Paul's digging the setup. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, RK, yes, new setup. Yes. Thank you. I'm loving it. There's just a lot more room, a lot more space. I don't have to worry about hitting a wall behind me or nothing. It's I want to spin around on my chair. I can spin around on my chair. So probably rip out my head earbuds or whatever. But anyways, so we start out here with someone that I've been very interested in seeing here since I heard a handful of weeks ago that he was joining I don't think he's actually signed, but he's been on Dark a handful of times. In fact, his first match was with Eddie Kingston before he got injured. So, and I still want to go back and watch that one. It was on just the regular Dark, I believe. That was right before Elevation started. But JD Drake. And now this is kind of an odd team up. I don't know if I like this tag team, but they throw stuff together. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but this is featuring up and coming new stars in the world of wrestling. Either, ones that just haven't had the spotlight put on them and they're actually been around for several years, like a few people on this show, or ones that have only been in the industry for a couple years, that we'll talk about as well. But JD Drake, the blue collar, I forget what they call them here. I didn't write it down. But great to see JD Drake, former tag team champion with someone that just got signed to NXT, and the name is escaping me now, but I did hear about that recently. But yeah, former tag team champion in Evolve. So great to see him here. Kind of an odd couple tag team with him and Ryan Nemeth, of course, Ziggler's brother. Got to mention Ziggler because it's still one of my favorites over there. Paul Nelson says the room feels 30 feet bigger. Yes, 30 feet of smash this podcast awesomeness. Yes, I don't know what that just came out of nowhere. Anyways, yeah, odd couple tag team here with JD Drake and Ryan Nemeth going up against Chuck Taylor, sexy Chucky T. I can't escape saying that. I just always got to bring that up. And of course, Orange Cassidy. Now, Orange Cassidy debuts some new entrance music here. And it's a classic from the band The Pixies. Now, I've heard a few songs of the Pixies before. I'm not going to call myself a Pixies aficionado, but they had some serious, I'd say, popularity back around the time that Nirvana was booming. The boom of the grunge era, the alternative era in the early to mid 90s, if you will. Oh, I was a young bone back then. If I could go back then, that was just post graduation. So yeah, I'm in my late teens, early 20s, in the early to mid 90s. There, great years. So yeah, actually, it makes me want to check out some more Pixies stuff. Check out some of their catalog. But yeah, so Orange Cassidy gets some new music here. And wow, is the Big Show excited about it? He really is. Maybe they just told him to be excited about it. I don't even know if he knows who the Pixies are. Then again, I don't know much about them either. But anyways, they're very excited about the new music. The crowd certainly popped for it. So the crowd apparently knew who the Pixies were. So, and I did see it on social media too. That did get shared a little. So that's, good for Orange Cassidy. Got some new music. You gave it a thumbs up. So, but yeah, fun to finally see JD Drake on this brand getting some attention, getting some shine. Like it's odd tag team with Ryan Nemeth, but it didn't work out, so I don't know how long this is going to stay together, this odd couple, if you will. Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy come off with a win here. And Orange Cassidy beats him with the beach break. And they get a beatdown after this from Kip Sabian and Miro. They were advertising the arcade Rumble. I forget what it's called. They've got some special arcade showdown, some special kind of match. I'm assuming it's some kind of like showdown in an arcade, some kind of hardcore, something um, going on this Wednesday. So yeah, this is all. That's what's nice about watching shows like this is they'll have shows that are just for themselves. You know, they're just to themselves, don't have anything to do with anyone else on the card or on another show. Um, but this, you know, they're hyping up other stuff, and there's actually quite a few matches here on this show tonight that hyped up other stuff coming up later this week or some other rivalry happening on Dynamite. So next we get the AEW debut of Bill Collier. Now, he's been in the business for 14 years, so he's what they would call a grizzled young vet, I guess. I don't know. So, not to speak of the grizzled young vet tag team from NXT. No, this is different. So yeah, Bill Collier's debut here looks really good. Had a nice slow match, and I mean that in an okay way, not a bad way, against one of my favorites, Jon Moxley, and he looked good. He kind of reminded me of Joe Doring from Impact Wrestling. So great debut. I mean, shoot, if your debut is with Jon Moxley, my goodness, it's nothing to sneeze at, folks. I mean, he looked good here. He looked good. Of course, you know, John won, but the offense that Bill put in, you know, some of the counters here and there, it looked like he knew his way around a ring. You know, 14 years in the biz, and he's finally getting an opportunity like this. Great to see, you know, and that's how this brand in the long run is going to shine. Yeah, you're going to have guys like Moxley around for, you know, a handful of years or for however long he's going to stick around. But the strength, and I've said this before, but it bears mentioning once in a while, is the strength of this brand is not to see how many they can pluck from WWE. Granted, that's going to help them, you know, in some cases, as we've seen, but it's the strength of building new stars. You know, people cut on Impact Wrestling all the time, like, oh, they're done, they're washed up, they're not doing anything. Well, look at some of the rosters of some of these bigger shows. A quarter to half of their roster is former Impact Wrestling stars. You're going to tell me that Impact Wrestling doesn't know what they're doing? They're making stars. Now, they may go off to greener pastures down the road after a few years, but that's just the way the industry goes. So, yeah, the strength of AEW is going to see them and watch them, make stars. And it's, you know, it's exciting to see guys like this get a shot, you know, especially against a guy like Jon Moxley. So I really paid attention to this one. This one was a lot of fun. Moxley has him tap out, though, to the Bulldog choke. He's been using that a little more often lately. It's great to see Moxley change things up, not always use his DDT finisher. Cody Rhodes comes out. Now his arm is in a sling still here. And that kind of worries me because he's got a match coming up on Wednesday against one QT Marshall. But he comes out with one of his famous belts here, his wrestling belts. And you know how he always throws them into the crowd Well, he came out this time. Crowd pops for him, of course, because he is a favorite of the fans. And he goes into the crowd and greets a little boy. And apparently, he's from the Boys and Girls, or he's representing the Boys and Girls Club, and receives this belt from Cody. And when you see stuff like that, it just warms your heart. It really does. Just to see, a brand like this doing things like that. That's important to see stuff like that. That they're in touch with, um, community outreach programs that, especially with the youth, it's great to see. So good on Cody Rhodes for, making that kid, they say, yeah, of course it's from another company, but they say that one of the main goals is putting smiles on faces. That's true in any company. That's true in any company related to the world of professional wrestling. You're doing it to, attract an audience and make them smile, then you're doing the right thing. So good on Cody for doing that. Hopefully he'll be okay this Wednesday. He's resting up that shoulder. Penelope Ford here in a match with Leela Gray, and one thing I did want to mention about Penelope Ford is she has a new YouTube channel out. I know a lot of these wrestlers out there over the last 10 years, give or take a little, have started YouTube channels. Now, of course, if you work for another brand, that don't work so much. That doesn't work too well, especially with the things going on recently. But if you work for a company like Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, AEW, they're fine with that. A third party thing. Putting yourself over. Trying to get your stuff out there, gain a bigger audience. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But hey, it is what it is. Some companies just don't like that. So yeah, Penelope Ford has a new vlogging. I don't know what she's all going to do on there. Right now, it looks just like a vlog. And it's going to show more of a behind the scenes kind of thing that she's been going through. She's moving into a new place with her new husband, Kip, and some footage like that. It's cute stuff, some of it's fun to watch. I don't like watching that stuff all the time, but this first video of hers was okay to watch. I like her and I like Kip. They're they're good on TV. So Zach says she's on Twitch too. All right, cool. I'm guessing she's a gamer on there, seeing as Miro and Kip are gamers. So yeah, this one is just vlogging. So I don't know if she's putting that stuff on her Twitch too as well. Um, I I don't know what she all puts on her Twitch, but yeah, Leela Gray takes the big L here. She gets double knees to the gut from Penelope Ford. Not too much to say about this one. Some of these caught my eye more than others as far as a lot of women's matches on this episode, though. I will say that. That's another reason I tuned in to see this is because of all the featured women's matches. Next, we got the Gun Club, Billy, Colton, and Austin. Colton and Austin being the sons of Billy Gunn, and I haven't seen them wrestle much. And that was another reason why I wanted to, some of the teams that maybe you haven't seen as much on Dynamite that they feature more on Dark for the up and coming talent. So it was great seeing Billy again. I love seeing Billy. He's in tremendous shape. And his sons are fun to watch too, watching them grow with the business, especially with this company. Trio's debut of Rex Lawless and the tag team. Are you ready for this? Milk Chocolate. The guys are Brandon. Hang on, I'm gonna read my own notes here. Brandon Watts and Randy Summers. One guy's white, one guy's black. That's why they call it milk chocolate. So it's just a cute little play on words and their ethnicity. Not a bad thing, Maybe some people wouldn't be a fan of that, but I was like, oh, okay, I get it. That's simple. Uh, Big Show popped for it. He's like, oh, milk chocolate. I like that. Okay, Big Show. um, but yeah, I like the tag team of Milk Chocolate and Rex Lawless, the bigger of the three, just kind of a solo guy put with this tag team. I don't know how long they're gonna keep this trios team together. Obviously, not like the family of the Gun Club. But Rex Lawless certainly is a bigger guy. Kind of reminded me of a Brody King type guy in the ring, long hair. So, looking at the chat, it's cracking me up. You guys, oh my god, just funny. So yeah, fun trios. A fun trios debut from Rex and Milk Chocolate, but they lose here to the Gun Club, and because with their finisher 310 to Yuma, and that's a Western / gun reference there. So yeah, it looks like the Gun Club is really coming together as a trios team, and it just makes me think that within the calendar year, sooner rather than later, honestly, excuse me, I think we are honestly going to get a trios championship, which I'm okay with. I mean, honestly, this roster is absolutely loaded and loaded with talent, and it's not a bad thing. It's just getting everybody used. But that's a great thing about these other shows like Dark is you're featuring new talent and you're also giving some of that undercard talent, undercard talent a chance to stay used in the ring. They're not just sitting back and catering, like someone like Andrade sat in catering for over 6 months. My God, why would you do that to a guy like Andrade who has that kind of talent? Just unbelievable. Just crazy. So, yeah, interesting trios match here. Now, next we get someone that I haven't seen in a while. We got Joey Janela coming out with Sunny Kiss versus a this is his AEW debut. Not just his Elevation debut, but his AEW debut. We got a few debuts in this show. Chandler Hopkins. They talked about his MMA background and such. Very athletic guy. Certainly seemed to be more athletic at times than Joey Janela. But yeah, I mean, not a bad debut. I mean, of course he lost, but not a bad debut. Kind of reminded me of someone that used to be in the WWE, and I can never remember his name, so my apologies with my senile moment here. He used to come out with Miro. He used to come out with Rusev and do the singing and stuff. It reminded me of him. And I mean it as a compliment, not as a negative thing at all. I just can't remember the guy's name. The guy's from Chicago. He has a new whiskey. He's like a whiskey connoisseur. Can't think of his name. Someone in the chat will come up with it. Aiden English, there it is. Critical Sting, ding, ding, ding. And I'm sure a few other people will come up with it as well. Thank you, Aiden English. Yes, reminded me of an Aiden English, just more hair. Uh, but yeah, Joey Janela gets the win here with elbow off the top rope. The greetings from Asbury Park. Um, Next, we get a women's match here. Now, this one wasn't really a fan of this match. Excuse me. Now, I love me some Thunder Rosa, and she just had that tremendous main eventing match with Britt Baker recently, the unsanctioned match where they just absolutely clobbered the crap out of each other. But she had a match here with Alex Gracia, or Gracia. I'm not sure. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But the Pink Dream. Quite the entrance here. Quite the look from Alex. Alex, I don't know. Like, I've seen her in the ring before, and she seemed to maybe just have few hiccups here. Just this match just didn't flow very well. Their communication was off a little, or something. Something just didn't gel well, and I'll put that more on Alex, obviously, more than Thunder Rosa, because I know Thunder Rosa is very good. But so yeah, I mean, I still want to see more of the the Pink Dream, the Alex Gracia. I'm sure she'll improve working with the veteran ladies of this roster. Apparently, she's also part of. I think they said she's part of one of the schools that's connected with AEW, the Rhodes, one of the Rhodes schools or something like that. So, um, Mark is crying in the chat. Says, please send Rosa to Impact. I have absolutely no doubt that someday we'll see her in an Impact Wrestling ring. But for now, she is contracted with NWA, former NWA Women's Champion, and she's also getting some TV time on AEW. But yes, if the fans scream loud enough, hopefully we'll see some kind of rivalry sooner rather than later. We'll see. That'd be great. But yeah, Thunder Rosa comes off with a win here with the Fire Thunder Driver. Pretty much a squash match. Alex really didn't get much offense in here. There was other women's matches on this card that were much better. Now, like this one, legit Layla Hirsch against Vipress. Now, I don't think I've ever seen Vipress before. Yeah, very unique look. She had a split hair down the middle. One side was like platinum white, and the other side was jet black. Very, very interesting look. Legit Layla Hirsch recently signed officially to AEW, so congrats on that. She is so much fun, with her like collegiate Roman Greco, or excuse me, dear God, it's a little late. Yes, I realize that. My apologies. Her Greco-Roman stylings, her collegiate stylings. Yes, she is maybe shorter in stature, but that also gives her the advantage many times because she is just a beast in the ring. My goodness, she really gave it to Vipress. She beat her pretty quickly here with a cross arm breaker, made her tap out. But Vipress did the offense that she did come across with was impressive because she was trying to work on Layla's shoulders and arms. Obviously, where a good chunk of her strength lies. If you take that away from her, she can't put together her finishers, but just she just didn't give enough. Layla came out with a win here, made her tap out. Now, one of my favorites on this roster that probably doesn't get featured enough, but he's on quite the winning streak. He's like 11 or 12-0 now. It has got to put him in line for something. I don't know what, but it's got to put him in line for something soon. Well, we know he is going to be featured on Dynamite. We'll get to that in a second. We get Danny Limelight versus Frankie Kazarian. Love me some Frankie Kazarian. Frankie is one of those guys that has absolutely stood out this last calendar year. Given everything going on in the world, he has completely gotten himself in just phenomenal shape and completely rejuvenated his career. I mean, he's on like a 12-match winning streak here. Like I said, he's got to be rewarded with something soon. I don't know what, but well, maybe this Wednesday is what he's being rewarded with, because he is going to face Christian in Christian Cage's AEW in-ring, his AEW in-ring debut, excuse me. So very excited to see that Wednesday. Certainly going to be one of the highlights. And, they used to face each other way back, 15 years ago, give or take a little, in TNA back in the day. Just a joy to watch back then. And I'm sure they're going to put on a clinic this Wednesday. So can't wait to see that. But Frankie Kazarian goes old school with a win here. Beats Danny Limelight with a cross-face chicken wing. And then Christian Cage actually comes out at the end of this and gives him a round of applause. Maybe getting into the head of one Frankie Kazarian. Just letting him know he's keeping an eye on him, I mean, certainly a good sign of sportsmanship, but big showdown coming Wednesday, so can't wait for that. Let me know how excited you are to see Christian Cage's first match in AEW against a guy like Frankie Kazarian. Two greats in the ring, absolutely. Next, we got Ethan Page versus Fuego del Sol. Now, one thing I've noticed about Fuego del Sol lately is I feel like there's like a cult following that is starting to slowly gain gain momentum. Now he's being featured a lot on some vlogs like Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara has talked about him for the last few years, and now they're actually working together. Well, not together, but together, same company in AEW. Excuse me. So Fuego del Sol, his claim to fame is he is the king of the tornado DDT, something to that effect. But he always comes like really close to giving someone a tornado DDT and then fails at doing it. The other person counters it. As we saw a few times in this match, he came close a few times to giving Ethan Page his I guess more of a rumored tornado DDT at this point. But I love the heart, I love the charisma of a guy like Fuego del Sol. And they were having a fun time talking about him and how much they like Fuego del Sol during this match as well. But it's great to see Ethan Page really get a chance to shine and show his charisma and his heel expertise against a kid like Fuego del Sol. Beats him with ego's edge. Apparently, from what I heard, getting the permission from one Scott Hall to use his finisher and rename it as the ego's edge. So interesting, very interesting. I don't now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember Ethan Page using that in Impact Wrestling. Is that new? I don't remember what. This sounds horrible because he was one of my favorites in Impact Wrestling. I just can't remember what his finisher was. Pardon my senile moment, number 39 of the evening or whatever it is. Fuego is the cousin of Curryman, says Zach Bonifer. Well, that's interesting. Mark, what's up, man? He says it's new. Okay, all right. Critical Sting says he didn't use it much in Impact Wrestling. All right, well, there you go. It seemed like Ethan Page did a lot more talking than wrestling at times. Although, I mean, he was one half of the longest reigning tag team champions in Impact Wrestling history. I should know this. I should remember this kind of stuff, but other people stand out more than others, I guess. Oh, that's what it is. That's why I didn't think of it. Critical Sting says he's been using it in the indies and calling it the Big Boy Bomb. That's why. That's why. Thank you. Okay. Destroying kayfabe is in his house. He says, all right. I'm here, bro. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. RK, old people problems. Yes, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's, I try to joke about it and just try to keep everybody in on the little joke, that I have my little senile moments and I forget shit. But then again, I think everybody forgets shit once in a while. So. Mark says, start smoking MJ. JAYBONE, then you'll really forget everything. Well, that might actually help me. No, it probably wouldn't. All right, we continue. So yeah, Ethan Page beats Fuego del Sol with Ego's edge. So we get Hikaru Shida. This was a long episode. This was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Missed a couple segments, and my apologies. I'll try to cover everything better with these next time. But I had to, they had kind of an around the ring segment with Bear Country that I skipped over to get to the last match, and then so I could start at a decent time, even though it was super late. Yeah, Mary Jane. Yes. So next we got a tag team match: Hikaru Shida with Ty Conti versus Jasmine Allure. I feel like they should put the F. Wow, it's late. They should put the exclamation point on allure. The emphasis. There's that word. Oh, that's $5 word. The emphasis on allure, but I don't feel like he did it here. Her tag team partner Tesha Price, two ladies I have never seen before, and they really did not get to feature many in-ring skills here. Hikaru Shida and Ty Conti really finished them off pretty quickly. Ty actually came off with the win here with the DDT, if you will, her version of the DDT. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from Jasmine Allure and Tesha Price, hopefully in a longer match down the road here. But nonetheless, a quick win. Obviously, this is all leading to them tagging up together. Speaking of Hikaru Shida and Tai Conti versus the team of Nyla Rose and damn it, it's escaping me. They got a tag team match. Is it Britt Baker? I forget. No, I don't think so. Maybe it is. I forget. It's coming up this Wednesday. They got a big tag team match, and it's obviously Tai Conti is the number one contender as well. So Hakeem says, so AEW Elevation is just explosion, but with more matches. No, I'd say it's more like BTI, but with more matches, honestly, because a lot of these do have ties in with the main show of Dynamite, whereas Explosion 99% of the time never did. So I'll say that. They're not all squash matches. You know, some people probably looking at this saying, "Oh, it's just all squash matches." No, they're not. There is some really good wrestling ability being featured here. You just got to pick and choose through it, you know. But there were certain ones that I was really wanting to see here, which is a reason why I covered it. Plus, and I'll get into that in a little bit to wrap up this evening's show on what I know is a very late Monday night. Why I'm not covering WWE as much, especially this week, unfortunately, for them. Not for me, but for them. What's next here? Jungle Boy versus Jack Evans. I certainly want to see more of this one. I feel like there's a bigger picture rivalry blooming here with Jurassic Express and the Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Helico. But this was a singles match, Jungle Boy versus Jack Evans. Jungle Boy gets the win here. Actually makes him tap out with the snare trap. Very interesting. That's a huge win. I'm going to call this one an upset, honestly. Huge win here for Jungle Boy, but I can't wait to see where this goes. If this, turns into just a regular tag match on Dynamite or what. But seeing a younger guy like Jungle Boy take on a guy like Jack Evans and have a great back and forth match, that's the stuff that you should really watch for on shows like this. That's what it's considered like one of their headliner matches because it's two featured people from the main roster, no upstarts, So these are the ones you really, you can pick and choose whatever you want to watch from these. I sat through the whole thing just to give it a good viewing. And I also wanted to see how, on the non-in-ring side of things, how Tony and Paul Wight really ended up working together. And I got to say, Tony Schiavone and Paul Wight really do click. I was a little leery when I first saw that advertised, saying that Paul Wight was going to be working with Tony. I have no problems with Tony other than his being a smart ass on the ads on Impact Wrestling when it's the two Tonys. But I didn't know how Big Show was really going to be as a kind of a play-by-play color guy. Because he does a little bit of both. Honestly, he does. Which gives a chance for Tony to have a little break as well. They really do work well together. If you have the chance, watch this. I was impressed. And I love Big Show's sense of humor when it comes to this kind of stuff. And seeing him on the other side of the desk and calling some color and some play-by-play right alongside of Tony. So good stuff here. Good stuff. Next, we got the ongoing big question mark that's looming above QT Marshall. He's got this kind of, odds thing going on here with the Rhodes family and his rivalry with Cody. And we didn't see a lot of that here, but it was discussed during this match. He had a tag match here with um, Lee Johnson, who is part of the Rhodes family, recently signed and recently brought into the Rhodes family as part of their roster, their stable, if you will. But QT Marshall, obviously facing Cody this Wednesday is a big deal. So yeah, that was brought up as well. They face off against the team of Adam Priest and Aaron Fry. Aaron Fry. Now, I want to mention Adam Priest first because I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Maybe I did see him on another Dark episode and just don't remember who I saw him against. But Aaron Fry, they did mention a little behind the scenes stuff from him. He's 37 years old. The guy is not a spring chicken, but he actually only has been working in ring stuff for wrestling for 6 years. So he got a very late start, very similar to a guy like DDP. So I would love to learn some more about this guy. And pretty good in ring as well, for being an older guy. I mean, not necessarily old, but older in the sense of when he started. You know what I mean? You guys get that. So interesting going back and forth here between QT Marshall and Lee Johnson, tagging in and out. Sometimes Lee kind of catching QT off guard, getting a blind tag in. The look on QT's face saying it all. He wants to shine here in this match. He doesn't want to give Lee that spotlight because Lee has had some spotlight lately. But Lee did not mention QT Marshall as being one of those key people in the back helping him with the start of his career. He was left out. And that did something to QT. That really upset him. And that was a part of, certainly not the key thing here, but certainly part of everything that's going on big picture wise with him and the Rhodes family, and maybe playing second fiddle to a guy like Cody. But QT is nothing to sneeze at in the ring here. Yeah, he comes off with the win here. I believe he blind tagged in Lee, kind of getting a little tick for tat, getting back at him a little here. He comes off with the win here with the diamond cutter, which was passed down to him from DDP. So interesting little tidbit there of information. So next here, now I wasn't feeling this one. I mean, there were some women's matches that were certainly better than others. There's some I was more into. This one I was excited to see, but I didn't have the, I don't know, I just lost the excitement pretty quickly in this match for this. Because I haven't seen Kit, pronounce this correctly. She's only 2 years in Killing King. I've seen her always in the crowd at ringside, with her friends cheering on with everyone. Usually she sits over by guys like the Gun Club at ringside, with Austin Gunn hanging over the railing and losing his mind during, his time at ringside. Killer King versus Ryo Mizunami. Very fun to watch Ryo Mizunami. Oof, said it again. Uh, but this match was so slow and I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, it was an okay match. They didn't do anything wrong. It just wasn't my cup of tea because it was so much of them just kind of going back and forth in the ring, a little bit of comedy. Um, I I think I want to see uh, Rio versus more of a heel. Like it was too much camaraderie going back and forth. I want to see Mizunami. Oh, it's getting late, folks. Ryu Mizunami against like just a straight up heel like Nyla Rose, something more like that. I believe they've already had a match, but you get what I'm saying. Um, and just the test of strength that went on in the ring at this time during this match, just it took way too long for me. That kind of stuff should be over fairly quickly with an elbow or just a quick get out and some other maneuvers or a kick or something. Yeah, I felt like it dragged. It wasn't bad. I just want to see Rio versus someone else, and I certainly and it is not necessarily a shot at Killian King. Um, it just felt like it didn't gel. So, but I do want to see more from them. Just another, versus other people. Dark Order 5 and 10 take on the team of D3 and uh, Vari Morales. Vari Morales really reminding me of a young Juventud Guerrera. Really. D3, they said he is the only Italian wrestler on the roster. Interesting. Two young upstarts here going against the Dark Order team of 5 and 10. 5 and 10 coming off with a win here. The 10 giving D3 a full Nelson. Just didn't have a chance. He's given up about him. I'm guessing about 100 pounds weight difference. The D3 and Vari Morales certainly smaller. They're more number 5 size. 10 really standing out in that group. 5 and 10, like I said, getting the win here. Private Party versus Bear Country. Now I'm going to go back and watch this more. Especially leading up to this, they showed the Bear Country feature, kind of like I forget what the segment is called. It's like around the ring, just more in depth, getting to know these people on the roster, which is great for a team like Bear Country because they're still fairly new on this roster. Great to see though. My introduction to Bear Country was AAW's last show that I actually covered here on Smash This Podcast. So yeah, it's been a while. Excuse me. Allergies just horrible today. I'm so sorry. All right, we're wrapping this up soon. Good back and forth match between Private Party and Bear Country. Private Party, though, squeaking out the win. Their mentorship, the leadership, whatever you want to call it, the managerial skills, if you will, of one Matt Hardy is really, really helping a team like Private Party squeak out important wins in a situation like this. Maybe in a situation where normally they would have lost to the overpowering from a team like Bear Country, which they really did shine in this match. I gotta say, I love the tag team skills of Bear Country. Just an old school, brawling, tough, big guy. tag team. Certainly a team that's going to be featured more in the soon and near future, I gotta believe. Excuse me. On AEW shows. But yeah, Private Party comes off with the win here. Main event time. Mike Seidel versus Scorpio Sky. Only problem with this match that I saw was I would have loved to seen a longer match. I would have loved to seen this match go at least 15, 20 minutes. But this is all leading to something bigger, I'm feeling, for Scorpio Sky. He's really getting that slow burn push, getting significant wins over significantly talented people, veterans of the ring like himself, like Mike here, Mike Seidel. Very interesting finish here, though. Scorpio Sky beats him, and Matt comes out because he rescues Mike from Scorpio Sky. So Matt comes out to rescue his brother, and then something very interesting happens. Ethan Page, all ego, Ethan Page comes out and just wallops Matt Seidel and just clobbers him and leaves with Scorpio Sky. So now I don't know if this is like the start of a new tag team between All Ego and Scorpio Sky, or if this is just some of the rumored friction that we've seen in the past, or maybe have heard about in the past, between All Ego Ethan Page and Matt Seidel. So here we have a little replay of what we maybe have seen in other companies or in other matches before. Something personal going on between Page and Seidel. So, Critical Sting says, well, of course Ethan went after him. So, yeah, and I think Mark says, whoa, they're going to do Seidel Page already? Yeah, apparently they are. They're not wasting any time. Well, that'll certainly bring some shine to both of them. You know, I mean, for those that maybe have heard about this rivalry in the past, you know, whether it's real or not, I don't know. I mean, some of these you hear about this big hatred between the two, you know, how much it's, I mean, they're working together, so obviously they got to stay professional. So you got to wonder, you know, like, okay, if it was really that bad, you'd never see them together. So obviously it can't be that bad that they can't work together. But that's what makes money out of this, right? Hakeem says, I thought Seidel and Page hated each other. Sometimes you take a little bit of reality and make a big wrestling story out of it. Either way, I'm here for it, because those two, we've seen them work together before in Impact Wrestling. No matter what their personal history is, looks like they're going to have a rivalry. So, and it starts here, and I'm sure it'll continue down the road on another show, either on Elevation as a more headlining match, or AEW Dynamite. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I'm going to close this out with a little rant, if you will. I'm not going to lose my mind here. I'm going to try to stay calm and cool and collected, because it's late. And I got to get up in a few hours. So I'm tired. But notice I didn't come here Monday talking about much WWE stuff. When I found out watching SmackDown on Friday with my son that they're bringing someone like Logan Paul, YouTuber into the WWE for WrestleMania. And let me tell you, I was really excited. I was really excited when it came to finding out that we were going to get a rivalry again between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. What, in my opinion, one of the best wrestling rivalries in the last decade, no matter where it was. Ring of Honor, NXT, main card of WWE, I don't care. It's all been great to me. Until now. You're going to tell me. See, that's one of the beautiful things about this rivalry. There's something so pure and so simple. You don't have to do anything with this rivalry. You can bring it up and fans will go, yes, give it to me again. We've seen it before. I don't care how many times. It works. They get it and they can do it well. You don't need some stupid fucking YouTuber that guys like me hate, because a few years ago, if you're a YouTuber, you know this happened. It took away all the options for monetizing away if you had less than 1,000 subs. Now I'm creeping up on 1,000 subs right now. I've been doing this 7 years, talking about something that I love. Now you're going to incorporate some nasty motherfucker from YouTube who's just toxic. Guys like me, don't look up to at all. I don't care how many viewers he gets and how many years he's been around doing this. It's because of him that I got demonetized among probably thousands and millions of others. So fuck this guy. And now you're going to take him and you're going to inject him into what I consider to be one of the better rivalries in WWE right now. You just made me lose interest pretty much altogether in WrestleMania because you're doing this. Pretty soon you're going to be seeing more and more of this kind of crap in the WWE. The more and more I'm hearing about this, you know it's coming. Guys like Bow Wow. Soldier Boy is probably going to be showing up soon and attacking Randy Orton. Just wait. It's going to fucking happen. I mean, this wouldn't be reported on 20 times a day from a good source like ringsidenews.com if it wasn't going to happen. Because why would Randy Orton waste the time and keep going back and forth with a guy like Soldier Boy? Because it's going to fucking happen. Because WWE wants that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. That doesn't belong. Like once in a while when you bring in someone, some kind of celebrity thing, I get it. But this is ridiculous. You're going to bring in some YouTuber into one of the greatest wrestling rivalries of the last decade. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, fuck that. You completely lost my interest in that. I was all excited about it, and the more and more they talked about it, I should have seen it coming. They're just talking and talking and talking about this Logan Paul guy. And, well, now he's showing up next week. And apparently he's going to be at WrestleMania. So you know what? I'm over it. You know? And you're ruining guys like Miz and Morrison. You're putting them in fucking bunny suits for some guy for Bad Bunny. Are you fucking kidding me? They're breaking up one of the best groups on Monday Night Raw. I heard they destroyed them tonight. They're breaking up the Hurt Biz already. So you just made a guy like Bobby Lashley WWE champion only to destroy everything around him. What the fuck? You're absolutely destroying WrestleMania. You know, and I was actually pretty excited about watching it this year. The buildup has not been very good, especially over the course of the last month. Well, you know what? Now you've completely fucking ruined it for me. So, you know what? I'm going to cover more stuff like Elevation and maybe some NWA or some Ring of Honor, where I know I'm going to see good wrestling. And I know they're not going to do stupid shit like bring in Soulja Boy or some toxic piece of shit from YouTube. It's my little rant of the night. I didn't get too nuts, did I? So yeah, you're gonna be seeing some more different stuff. Like I said, the show is always evolving. What I'm covering, what I'm not covering. I do want to say I'm excited and I'm happy about RVD going in the Hall of Fame. I am going to be watching the Hall of Fame this year, but I'm not going to be watching WrestleMania. And you heard that straight from STP. aka JAYBONE, right here on this YouTube channel. 7 years strong. You know what, baby. So we're back in full effect. New layout. Like, you know, it's a work in progress. We gotta fix some lighting. Like this lighting's good, but I want like the whole room lit up nicely. But I just gotta work on a few things where I'm gonna place it. Maybe get some like LED lighting in the background. I've heard that's kind of a cool thing. I don't know. Something. But anyways, it's late. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know, especially for some content like this, not too many people are talking about Dark, but you know, I feel it deserves some attention. And if I'm not covering Raw, then you know what else is on Mondays? Guess what? Elevation from AEW Dark is on. So you'll probably be seeing more of this on Mondays now. So much love, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow on another little podcast called TNI. We're going to have Mean, woo, by God, Gia Miller on with us at the top of the review. And join us before that. We'll be covering the watch along. Bill and I, or myself, I don't know who's going to be on from week to week, but I'll be here covering BTI along with the watch along of Impact Wrestling and the review right afterwards with Mean by God. Gia Miller joining us at the top of the show. She's got something to talk about. We'll find out sooner rather than later. Oh, excuse me. But I can't wait to see James Storm 1000th match tomorrow night with, now we know, just found out he's injured. So I'm not sure how he got injured. We might find out tomorrow. We'll see. Eric Young. So yeah, can't wait to see all that tomorrow night and more over on TNI. Then join me back here Wednesday night for my review of AEW Dynamite, along with who knows what else. So much love, everyone. Take care. We'll see you real soon. Where the hell is my theme? Hit my freaking theme. There it is. Good night, folks.